Hey y'all, it's your girl Mariah Sincere, and I'm back with another video. But before I get started, go on ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Okay, you already watching me, you might as well keep up. So guys, I'm gonna be talking about a very uncomfortable topic for some of you all. I'm gonna be speaking in a lot of truth, like it's gonna be completely raw, completely unfiltered, and that is the topic of being alone for a very long period of time and the negative effects that it can have when you actually are trying to build romantic relationships with other people. Okay. This is not gonna be one of those videos telling you, oh, be single above all else, choose your peace above all else, or it's better to be alone than to settle. Like, this is not that. Okay, I understand where that comes from. I know that comes from a place of trying to protect yourself from emotional damage, especially when you've already been traumatized, especially when you've already dealt with folks in their BS. Okay, I get it. Okay, especially if you spend a lot of time emotionally recovering from previous relationships. Okay, and you come to a point where you're completely at peace and settled with how those things happen. But you know, you don't want to necessarily have to be going through any situations where you're reliving the same trauma. I get it. I understand where the don't settle for anything less than what you want rhetoric comes from. However, the reality is everybody is out here settling. Okay. And settling isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think people go to the extremes with it. I think when people think settling, they feel like they're dealing with somebody that is completely opposite of what they like or want and doesn't check the majority of their boxes, okay? Or the things that are most important. I think that's what people think when they think of like settling. Like every single box has to be checked. There's no room for compromise. And it's like, okay, you know, that's not real life out here. You know, there's training and then there's what's happening in the reality. And the fact of the matter is, I don't care how perfect nobody tries to make it seem. Everybody that is out here in a relationship is settling. There's something that they wish that they could get from their partner, or something that they wish was, you know, that's more ideal that they wish that they were getting, that is not happening. Okay. And when you get into a relationship or when you're dating, your job is to try to get the best. You settle for the best you can settle for. Okay, settle for the person that's going to improve your experience while you only have one spin around this earth. Okay, somebody who at the very least you can do this life with. Okay, even if it ain't perfect. So that's the truth, guys. That's the truth. And when you are single for a long time, you are insulated from that reality. Okay, you think that you're doing well emotionally. You think that you know how to communicate in relationships. You think that you know how to handle another person's emotions. You think that you're a healthy person to be with. And that's so not the case. Okay, I look at it like this. Being single is preparation for a test. So I'm always going to advocate having time alone for yourself. I don't believe in going from relationship to relationship. I mean, there are people who have never been single at all. Even people who claim to be single, like they've always had to either have somebody they were texting or somebody that they could call over at 3 a.m. in the morning. And I'm just a huge advocate in having periods of time where you're not doing any of that, because it allows you to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet emotionally. Okay, it allows you to get to know you at a deeper level and what you like and what you do not like. It allows you to be able to reflect and have that time to take accountability for things that have went wrong in your relationships or just in your life in general. So you need time to do that, free of any distractions or your mind being fogged. and escaping, because a lot of that going from relationship to relationship, or even dealing with being single by doing drugs or watching too much TV or drinking too much, like all of that is escapism. Okay, so you need that time to really take a look in the mirror and do a deep dive. However, if you're a person who genuinely, like, in your heart of hearts knows, like, I do want to be in a relationship, like, I don't want to just spend the rest of my life being single and never having like a real connection with somebody, then that time alone is preparation. But if you don't understand that you're insulated, then when you do begin to date, you're gonna fail the test miserably. How do I know this? Because that is the point that I'm at, guys. Like, I am failing so miserably, okay, with dealing with my emotions, having to deal with the fact that, you know, you're dealing with somebody and you can't control them, you can't control the outcome. And a lot of the times, this is another thing with women. We tend to think that we're so emotionally healthy, and that men are the ones who don't know how to deal with or handle their emotions, and we want men to come tell us about their emotions and the way that they feel. But we can be just as emotionally avoidant as men. When they really start speaking their minds and really start speaking their truth and talking about their emotions and their feelings, and it's triggering the fuck out of you, we can be just as avoidant. We can be just as quick to run away from the situation. We can be just as quick to go into hiding because it's so uncomfortable. And that's the part that a lot of women are not being honest about. So that's a part of relationships that I feel like I've been stifled in because I have been genuinely single for about a year now. So, guys, I'm not a person that feels a lot of fear. I'm a very control the controllables type person. I don't really, I guess, like, I'm not afraid to try new things, but it's like, I'm terrified. I'm the most scared I've ever been in my life. And I'm looking for any reason to just run the other way. Okay? Because I'm uncomfortable. And that's what people are not talking about. And however, I'm not a coward. Let me say that. I can recognize when I need to be challenged in some type of way. I can recognize an opportunity for growth. Most people are not like that, though. If you spend a lot of time being single, and you get uncomfortable, you are going to go back into your own shell. You're not going to try to work through your emotions. And I've seen women like that. I've seen women who are perpetually single or going from new relationship to new relationship because they were faced with situations that were uncomfortable, left the dude very quickly, and thought they were going to get a better deal going from man, and they just go from man to man to man to man to man to man, and they're dealing with the same issues in each relationship. And it's like, at some point, you're gonna have to learn how to be okay with dealing with conflict. Now, again, if you're one of those people who are like forever single, I'm gonna be happy doing this for the rest of my life, just being single, then more power to you. You don't have to put up with anything that you don't want to put up with. But chances are that if you are even toying with the fact of dating, that's not the real reality here. Okay, chances are if you're on the internet talking about relationships or talking about being with people romantically, that you're lying to yourself when you're saying that you're okay with being single for the rest of your life. Okay, now again, I'm not saying put up with situations that are going to be completely detrimental to you, that are going to put you in physical harm because you're afraid to leave. Like, I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying be willing to grow from relationship challenges that present themselves without always reverting to going back to singleness as soon as stuff gets rocky. It's gonna be very easy to do that. Everything in your body is gonna tell you to do that. But it's on you to learn how to work through your emotions. If you were in prayer and meditation, and learning how to manage your emotions as a single person, don't forget all of those techniques and all of those tools that you picked up. Like, now is the time to put them into practice. When you can't control the outcomes, and when ultimately another person that you're dealing with has to make decisions for themselves, and they have to choose you, and you don't necessarily get to pick if they choose you. They could choose you for years and just wake up one day and decide they ain't choosing you no more. That's just the reality of the situation, guys. But that's all I have to say. That's the real truth about being single. It can hinder you in many ways that people don't talk about. But y'all have a good day. I will talk to you.